process, and analyze video data in support of criminal investigations.
Were you employed with the Orlando Police Department in that capacity back in September of 2012?
Yes, I was.
And were you assigned to perform some tasks on the Orlando Police Department case number 2012-375754?
Yes.
Defendants Bessman Okafor, Emmanuel Wallace, and Mr. Godfrey?
Yes.
Were one of those tasks to obtain a video from the Marathon gas station located at 8299 Silver Star Road?
Yes.
Do you recall the approximate date or time that you obtained that video?
I obtained the video on September 21st, 2012.
Now, how was it that you ended up there? Did somebody make arrangements, or did you call? What happened?
Yes, the lead detective in the case made arrangements for me to go to the Marathon gas station and meet with an employee that would give me access to the DVR system.
And what did you find when you arrived?
When I arrived, the DVR system is in a back storeroom / office space, and there's basically office equipment, storage items for the store, as well as a DVR and a screen for a monitor for the DVR.
Does the general public have access to the room where the DVR equipment was found?
No, they don't.
It's in a back room, closed off.
Yes.
When you got to the DVR system, was it a multi-camera system?
Yes, it was.
Where are the images from that system recorded on that system?
The images are recorded actually physically onto the DVR.
Was the system password protected?
Yes, it was.
So how did you gain access to it?
I gained access through an employee. She unlocked the system for me.
When she unlocked the system, did you actually view video on the system?
Yes.
From the relevant date, September 10th, 2012, in the area between 4:40 a.m. and about 4:50 a.m.?
Yes.
When you viewed the video on the system, did it have a date and time stamp?
Yes, it did.
Did you take any steps to verify the date and time stamp accuracy on that system?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us how you did that?
Well, once you arrive on scene, you immediately make note of the date and time stamp on the DVR monitor. Then there are two ways you can verify the date and time. It's called the Naval Observatory Master Clock. And naval, yes. Well.
As in ships?
I'm sorry?
Naval as in ships.
Yeah, well, naval, yes. Navy. Gotcha. You're welcome.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you can either call or you can, via your smartphone, go to the website. But in this case, I called, and it gives you an automated message telling you what the current date and time is, and you just verify that against what the date and time is on the DVR monitor to see if the DVR is off in any way.
When you compared the Naval Observatory time to the time and date on the camera system, was the time and date on the camera system accurate?
Yes, it was.
Did you take any steps to verify that the system was functioning properly?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the jury how you did that?
Well, actually, in the storeroom where the DVR is located, there's a camera right above that kind of work area, so I could actually see myself moving around on the monitor.
Indicating that the system was actually viewing what it said it was?
Yes.
Now, after you made all these observations, did you obtain video from a specific time from the system?
Yes, I did.
Did you place it on a device?
Yes, I did.
What type of device, and can you tell us how you did that?
Well, I go to a search screen and look for either a backup menu or an export menu. I enter the date and times that I want to export, and then you hit search and it'll populate a number of files. You select the files that you want, and then you can burn those to a DVD. Some systems will allow you to burn them to well, export them to a thumb drive as well. So, but in this case, I burned them onto a DVD.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness what's been marked as State's Exhibits O and P?
You may.
Show me, counsel. Williams, I'm first going to show you State's Exhibit O. It's a disc. Look at the disc and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize that specific disc?
I recognize my signature.
And did you watch the disc?
Yes, I did.
What does it contain?
This contains video of the Marathon gas station.
Does it, the copy on that disc, does it fairly and accurately represent the data or video you took from the system on September 21st?
Yes, it does.
And then I'm going to hand you State's Exhibit P. It's a composite of photographs. Tell me if you recognize those.
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
I recognize these to be the outside cameras facing a portion of the gas pumps at the Marathon gas station.
Now, did you create those still photos
Yes, I did.
at the request of Detective Mareshi?
Yes.
Probably obvious, but if you could just tell us how you create a still photo from the video.
Well, basically, I use a video forensic program that will allow me to take screen captures. It's very similar to a print screen. If you're familiar with print screen, it's very similar.
Okay? Now, those pictures fair and accurate still shots from the video that's in State's Exhibit O.
Yes, they are.
Take your time. Make sure you look at each one.
Okay.
Your Honor, at this time, the State seeks to admit State's Exhibits O and P as the next number exhibits.
Any objection? All right, no objection to either. O will be admitted as?
State's number 26,
And P?
state's number 27,
Thank you.
After your activities at the Marathon gas station, did Detective Mareshi ask you to create additional still photos from other videos?
Yes, he did.
Your Honor, I approach the witness who has been previously marked as State's Exhibits U and W.
You may. You may.
Mr. Williams, I'm showing you first State's Exhibit U. Do you recognize that composite exhibit of photographs?
Yes, I do.
And did you create that exhibit?
Yes, I did.
From a video taken from 630 Butterfly Creek Drive, is that right?
Yes.
Are they fair and accurate depictions or still photos from that video?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And now State's Exhibit W. Do you recognize the photographs in State's Composite W?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize them to be?
These are still images from a red light camera.
A video that you were provided with and worked on.
Yes.
Do those images fairly and accurately represent the still photographs that you created from the red light camera at White and Clark?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, the State seeks to admit U and W as the next number exhibits.
These are the stills.
They are stills.
U is how many photographs?
U is a composite of 4 photographs. W is a composite of 10 photographs.
Any objection? All right, they'll be admitted. U will be as the next numbered exhibit, a composite of 4 photographs.
number 28,
And W will be admitted as a composite exhibit number 10 of 10 photographs. Thank you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been a forensic video analyst for 3.5 years.
4.5 years?
3.5 years.
Is it OPD?
Yes.
Okay. And have you taken stills from red light cameras before?
Stills, yes.
Okay. And so you've taken these photographs from video equipment before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right. Nothing further.
Thank you. Any redirect? Sir, thank you so much. You're excused. You can step down. Please be careful. They're very steep steps. Hold on.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
State calls Elna Acurena.
Elna Acurena. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. We appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to lean into that microphone. The chair is bolted to the ground. It doesn't move. Everybody tries to pull it forward.
Okay.
You want to be about 2 inches away from the microphone. If you would introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first name and your last name for the court reporter, please.
My name is Elna Acurana, E-L-N-A. Last name is A-C-U-R-A-N-A.
Thank you very much. Please proceed.
Ms. Acurano, what is your current city of residence? What city do you live in?
Orlando.
How long do you live in the city of Orlando?
About a couple of years now.
Is there a time that you used to live at 630 Butterfly Creek Drive?
Yes, yes, sir.
And when did you first start living at 630 Butterfly Creek Drive?
1994. That's when my son was born, 1994.
Okay. When did you move out of that residence?
Will be 2014, I believe. The end of 2013.
Okay, so you lived there for nearly 20 years.
Yes, 20 years.
That address, that's a corner lot, is that right?
Yes, it is.
What are the streets that kind of surround your lot, or your previous lot at 630?
The front will be Butterfly Creek Drive, and the side will be Chicago Avenue.
When you lived at 630 Butterfly Creek, did you have a video surveillance system?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall when it was installed? Approximately.
About 8 years ago now, about 8, 9 years ago.
Right. Who installed it?
A friend of mine.
Do you know how that system works?
Yes, I do.
How did you find out how it worked?
My friend installed it and did all the computer programming to it, and he showed me how to do it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Prior to this incident on September 10th of 2012, had you ever used that system to go back and look at past video?
Yes,
And you were able to manipulate that without problem, is that right?
correct.
When you had done this, did you find that the system was recording accurately?
Yes.
Your system back in September of 2012, did it have a date and time stamp?
Yes.
Did you ever test to see if it was accurate?
Yes.
How did you do that?
In numerous occasions, my mom stayed alone home. So if anybody will come and knock at the door, and she knew it wasn't anybody that she knew, which was, friend or any of us, then she won't open the door. And she will tell me somebody came and knocked at the door, and I would say, what time? She said around 3:30. Then I'll go back around 3:30 and check and see who was the one that came to the door.
Okay, so the system you had at your house actually allowed you to view it in live time as well?
Yes, yes, yeah. It was on all day, 24/7.
Did anybody have access to the recording system except for yourself?
It'll be just me. I was the only one that had the password to it.
Okay, so it had a password and it was protected.
Yes. Hmm.
Was the system working back on September 10th of 2012?
Yes, it was.
Now, at some point near that date, did you become aware of, I'm going to use the word incident, that happened early morning hours of September 10th?
Yes.
When you became aware of that incident, did you think to look at your camera system?
Not around that same time. It probably would have been about a day later.
All right?
Mhm.
And when you looked at the camera system, did you find some video that you thought was important?
Yes, when this incident happened, there were a lot of police cars and whatnot to my next door neighbor, Miss Amy.
Okay.
So it was around that time. So yes, I did.
At some point, did a detective come to your home and look at the video with you?
Yes.
Prior to you showing the video to the detective, had anybody ever tampered with your system or messed with it in any way?
No, I was the only one that knew the password.
How many cameras did your system have?
4.
And they were all in good working order on this morning, is that correct?
Yes.
BY. Tell me if you recognize that.
Yes.
And how do you recognize that disc?
My initials are on it.
Did you watch the video on this disc?
Yes.
And what does the video depict?
What, I'm sorry.
What time and place does the video depict?
It was around 5:24, I believe it was.
Around 5:24 a.m.
Yes, 5:24 a.m. Yes.
on September 10th
Yes.
of 2012.
Correct.
All right? And is the video on this disc the same one in content as the one that you showed Detective Mareshi back on September 11th?
Yes.
And also, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit T. Do you recognize that disc?
Yes, I do.
And do you recognize it with your signature?
Yes, I have my initials on it.
All right, so you previously watched this disc, is that right?
Correct.
And was the content on this disc a very accurate representation of the video that you turned over to law enforcement from your camera that morning?
Yes.
And at this time, the state seeks to admit States T and BY as the next number of exhibits.
Any objection? All right, to be admitted as the next numbered exhibits.
T will be received as state number 30, and BY will be received as state number 31.
Thank you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination? Okay, ma'am, you may step down. Thank you very much. Please be very careful on those steps. Hold on to the side there. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls John Crabb.
Last name?
Crabb, C-R-A-B-B.
Thank you. Afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us. The microphone looks like it's at about the right level. I just need you to lean into it a little bit. When you're speaking, you want to be about 2 to 3 inches away from it. Would you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first name and your last name for the court reporter, please?
Okay. John Crabb, JohnCrabb.
Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
American Traffic Solutions. Regional Operations Manager.
What do you do as regional, well, let me back up. What does American Traffic Solutions do as a company?
We provide traffic infraction detector devices to clients throughout the country.
Traffic infraction detector devices, also known as red light cameras?
That's correct.
Okay. So one of those areas includes Central Florida, is that right?
Yes.
And what is your job description or duties at, I'm going to use the word ATS, American Traffic Solutions?
My organization handles the installation and maintenance of the traffic infraction devices, red light cameras.
Okay, and what do you do for that company?
I am the regional manager for the organization.
How long have you been a regional manager?
4 years.
Do agencies, and specifically law enforcement agencies with some frequency, express interest in the video that your cameras record?
Yes.
What is, what is your role in regards to providing video to agencies who request it?
I provide the technicians if needed, or the handle the operation as to retrieving videos from either the site or the server.
So if you could explain for us what happens when a camera from your system at an intersection records video.
We have a camera, a Bosch camera at the intersection. It's located about 20 to 27 feet above the road. It records all activity through the intersection 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That camera sends the information to what is called a digital video recorder, DVR, where it is recorded up to and maintained for up to 30 to 60 days.
And the DVR, is that located with the camera on the pole?
It is located in the cabinet on the pole, correct.
Okay. Are there any situations where it's stored for longer than 60 days, or places where it's stored for longer than 60 days?
Yes, we keep all of the videos requests stored in the server in Tempe, Arizona.
So if a video is requested, it's stored in Tempe.
Correct.
But if it's not requested, is it overwritten after 60 days?
Correct, it is.
Okay. What happens when your agency gets a request, whether it be a call or from a subpoena, for video copied from a specific camera?
Initially, the request is tried to be honored by remotely pulling the data out of the DVR remotely back to Tempe. If the request or length of the request is excessive, then it would take an unordinary length of time in order to pull the video, so we send a technician to the site to pull it directly from the DVR.
Now, when you say lengthy, what are you characterizing as lengthy period of time?
Anything over about an hour would be too long.
All right. Now, when an agency sends your company a request, is that request documented in any way?
Yes, we maintain the record of the request.
And that record is maintained at the time that the request is received, is that right?
That's correct.
And are those records kept in the ordinary course of your business at ATS?
Yes,
Do you personally have access to those records?
I do.
And are those records password protected?
They are.
What information does that record show you when you access it?
It shows me who requested it, the time, the date that they requested it, and the files that we retrieved from the site.
And I would assume also the specific intersection or camera.
It does, the intersection.
Now, did your company receive a specific request for video from the intersection of White and Clark Road in Ocoee, Florida, between the hours of 3:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. on the morning of September 10, 2012?
We did.
And do you remember the agency that made that request?
It was the client was Ocoee, Florida.
Okay. Did you pull your records and review the notes from that request?
I did.
Do the records tell you how that request was processed?
It did.
Can you tell members of the jury how that specific request was processed by your company?
We received the request. The request was entered into our system. Due to the length of the recording, a technician was dispatched to the site to pull the DVR data directly from the site.
And that's what was done in this case?
Correct.
So in that situation, a technician climbs the pole and accesses the DVR?
It's actually in the cabinet that's accessible from the ground level.
Okay. That DVR at ground level, is it password protected?
It is.
And who has access to the password?
Only people that have a need to access the site. It's both specific to the user and to their password.
All right. And how would the technician search the system for the date and time?
What was that?
How would the technician search it for date and time? Is there buttons on it that allows them to do a search?
No, they're all stored in files. He takes a laptop, accesses the DVR, and accesses the file.
Now, we've been talking about a specific time. What time does your video system use and record?
It uses Universal Time or Greenwich Mean Time.
And what is the difference between Greenwich Mean Time and the time here in Orlando, Florida?
During daylight time, daylight savings time, it's a 4-hour difference, and between normal Eastern time, it's 5 hours difference.
Right? If there was any problem with the recording and its retrieval in this case, would it be noted in your records?
It would.
Was there any notation that there was an issue in this case?
There was not.
Do you notes indicate how the transfer of the video was done in this case?
I do.
Can you tell us about that, please?
The video was retrieved by a technician from the DVR. It was placed on a thumb drive, a small memory device, and was given to the Ocoee Police Department.
May I approach the witness who has been marked as State's Exhibits B, C, and D?
BC and V. Thank you. Yes, you may.
Mr. Crabb, let's start with State's Exhibit BC. Do you recognize that disc? You can open up from the back.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize it?
It has my initial on it.
And did you view the contents of that disc?
I did.
And what does that disc contain?
It contains the images that were transmitted to the Ocoee Police Department.
Did you view the file name of those images?
I did.
And did the file name match the file name from your records?
It did.
Okay? That's okay, I'll switch it around for you. Now State's Exhibit V,
Okay.
you recognize that disc?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
It has my initial on it.
And did you watch that disc?
I did.
And does that disc contain a shorter version of the disc in BC?
It does.
Now, the disc in V also has a timestamp, is that right?
Correct.
Did you compare the timestamp on that disc to the elapsed time on the disc in State's Exhibit BC?
I did.
And do they match up?
They do.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit State's Exhibits BC and D as the next numbered exhibits.
Any objection? Will come in as the next numbered exhibit. BC will come in as? And V? Thank you.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross? Sir, thank you so much. You're free to go. Please be careful going down the steps.
Thank you, sir.
Hold on to the side there. Call your next witness.
The state recalled Detective Michael Moreshi.
Detective Moreshi. Jeff. Thank you for coming back.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I'll remind you you're under oath. Would you put your name on the record, please?
Yes, it's Michael Moreshi.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Welcome back, Detective.
Thank you, sir.
Last time we spoke, you were talking about your obtaining of different surveillance videos regarding your investigation in this case, yes?
Yes.
And you said you obtained one from the neighbor at 630 Butterfly Creek, Elna Acurana, correct?
That is correct.
And also a video from the Marathon gas station at Silver Star Road,
Yes.
and a video from the traffic camera at the intersection of White Road and Clark Road.
Yes.
I believe you also previously testified about a white Chevy Malibu that belonged to Takithia Ruffin.
Yes.
You've also previously provided testimony about a white Chevy Impala that belonged to Candace Ruffin. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, did your investigation lead to a third vehicle?
It did.
And what was the third vehicle that became of interest?
The third vehicle was the white Ford Taurus.
Now, how did you first become aware of the white Ford Taurus?
I first became aware of it because it was in the Marathon gas station video.
Now, when you first saw the video, you thought it was involved, but you didn't know who it belonged to, right?
That's correct.
How did you find out, or first get an inkling of who that Ford Taurus belonged to?
Yes, I did.
How'd you find that out?
Nestle Cicerone told me who it belonged to.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness to what's been marked as State's Exhibits X and Y?
You may.
Composite X. It's a series of photographs. Tell me if you recognize what's in them.
Yes, I do.
And what is depicted in the State's Composite X?
That is a white Ford Taurus that belongs to Tony Nelson.
How did you first come into contact with that vehicle?
That was told to me that that's who it belonged to by Nestle Cicerone, and then I went and tracked down Mr. Nelson.
So you actually met with Mr. Nelson, and is that when you saw the car?
Yes.
It was in his possession,
Yes, it was.
right? And State's Exhibit Y,
On X, how many photographs is that?
5 photographs. Your Honor.
Thank you.
You recognize State's Y?
Yes, this is a Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles record showing that that vehicle is registered to Tony Nelson.
All right. Your Honor, at this time, the State seeks to admit State's Exhibits X and Y and the next number of
Any objection? All right, number X will be a composite of 5 photographs. Thank you. And Y will be, thank you.
Can you remind us, Detective, about the relationship between Tony Nelson and Nestle Cicerone?
They were very good friends. Tony would stay the night over at the Cicerone's house on occasion.
In fact, Mr. Cicerone indicated that Mr. Nelson was staying at his home on the early morning hours of September 10, 2012.
That's correct.
Permission to publish State's 34 to the jury.
You may.
Detective, you said you first saw that vehicle, or what you believe to be was that vehicle in the Marathon gas station video that you obtained, correct?
That's correct.
Are there any specific defects on this Ford Taurus that belonged to Tony Nelson that you saw in the video?
Yes, there's a square chunk out of the front bumper of the car.
And I'm now publishing 3 of State's Exhibit 34. You saw that defect when you met with Mr. Nelson, is that right?
That's correct.
And finally, 5 of State's Exhibit 34. At this time, the state seeks to publish State's Exhibit 26, the Marathon gas station video.
Is this a video or photos?
Your Honor.
Video?
Yes.
All right. And you need the witness to stay on the stand? For purposes? That's fine, I just need to know if you need him. Okay, thank you.
Please. Permission to publish, Your Honor?
You may. Folks, I have an ability, that's not right. There is an ability to lower these lights. I'm not sure I know how to do it with these buttons, but I may need to for your visibility. We'll see in a minute.
I know it went off. Give me 1 second. Detective, do you have the video in front of you?
I do, yes, sir.
Is that the Marathon gas station, a view from the front of the gas station on the bottom of the screen?
Yes, it is.
And on the top of the screen is the interior of the gas station?
Yes, it is.
And the timestamp you previously testified to was accurate, and it's obviously, I'm not going to read it. It's right there. Yes?
Yes.
Detective Mareshi, do you recognize the African-American female walking into the store?
Yes, that's Sharia Gordon.
Detective, at some point, did you ask technicians in your agency to create poster boards comparing the photographs of Malibu that belong to Ethiopia Ruffin with the still photographs from the Marathon gas station?
I did.
During my approach to witness from what's been marked as State's Exhibits Z and AA, they've been shown to counsel?
You may.
Z and AA, are those the still poster boards that you asked would be created?
Yes, they are.
They fairly and accurately depict the photographs that you've seen and taken in this case?
Yes.
At this time, the state seeks to admit Z and AA as the next numbered exhibits.
Any objection? All right, come in as the next numbered exhibit. Z will be number, and AA. Thank you.
And permission to publish the poster boards, just, I'm going to hold them if that's okay.
You may, that's fine. I'll remind the jury that these are now in evidence, so they will be back in the jury room with you when you deliberate.
Your permission to publish State's Exhibit or in evidence 33, the red light camera video.
33, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Detective, do you recognize the intersection in the video?
Yes, that's the intersection of Clark and White Road.
And which direction is this camera facing?
It's facing south, but I can't remember if that was Clark or White, which road was which.
Well, which direction is the crime scene?
The crime scene
That's
is,
to the screen.
I'm sorry, yes, the crime scene is going to be west from here, so to the right.
You recognize that vehicle, Detective?
Yes, that's Takithia Ruffin's Chevy Malibu.
At 5:01:40 seconds.
Correct.
I'm going to skip ahead to 5:03 and 30 seconds in the morning. Detective, do you recognize those two vehicles at 5:03 and 50 seconds?
Yes, that's Candace Ruffin's Chevy Impala, followed by Tony Nelson's Ford Taurus.
I'm going to pause that for a moment, Ron, if that's okay. Can I approach the witness to what's been marked as exhibits
You may.
AC, AE, and AG? Mr. Shelby Hassel? In order, Detective Mareshi, that's AC, AE, and AG. Do you recognize the poster boards?
Yes, I do.
Do you recognize the photographs and still photographs that are depicted on them?
Yes, I do.
Are they fair and accurate representations, and are those the ones that you asked be created?
Yes, they are.
And those depict those three vehicles heading westbound, is that right?
That's correct.
This time the state seeks to admit AC, AE, and AG as the next number of exhibits.
Any objection? All right, they'll be admitted. AC will be number, and AE, and AG. Thank you.
And permission to publish 38, 39, and 40 to the jury.
Yes, sir, you may.
Now, publishing status exhibit 4. May I proceed with publishing 33?
You may.
Now, Detective Mareshi, the video has skipped ahead to 5:26 a.m. Is that right?
That's correct.
So east, headed away from the crime scene, would be to the left of the screen.
That's correct.
At 5:26 and 28 seconds, what do you see?
That is Tony Nelson's Ford Taurus, followed by Candace Ruffin Chevy Impala.
I'm going to move forward to 5:27 and 40 seconds. Detective, you recognize the vehicle headed eastbound, the third vehicle at 5:27:45?
Yes, that's Takethia Ruffin Chevy Malibu.
Go forward to 5:29. AM, can you remind us, Detective, what time the 911 call came out? for the shooting?
5:24 in the morning.
Republished portion of 33?
Me?
28, Ms. Brown?
That's what I have.
Did you see the vehicle at 5:28:17, Detective?
Yes, that's one of the first responding units from Ocoee Police Department.
Headed in the direction of the crime scene.
Correct.
When I approach the witness, the state's exhibits AH and AD.
You may.
Attorney counsel, objection, starting with AD, recognize that?
Yes.
And you recognize AH?
Yes, it is.
Now, these the poster boards you had created of the Impala and the Taurus headed eastbound away from the crime scene.
Yes.
Very accurate?
Yes, they are.
Any objection? AD will be number 42. Thank you.
Out of permission to publish 41 and 42 is good?
You may.
Finally, Your Honor, may I have permission to publish State's Exhibit 30 in evidence?
30?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, you may.
I'm going to pause it because of the noise, Detective. Do you recognize the scene depicted on the video?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell us what we're looking at? You can use the screen if you'd like.
Yeah, that's it's the camera from Elna Alnarena's house pointing out from the side out towards the intersection and the park in the background.
And I'm going to go forward now to 5:06 and 30 seconds. Detective, do you recognize the vehicle headed northbound on Chicago at 5:07 and 21 seconds?
Yes, that's Candace Ruffin Chevy Impala.
Now, there was a second vehicle that appears in the video, is that correct?
That is correct.
And can you just circle it on the screen where you saw it?
It's back here.
Do you know what is in that area?
There's a city park back there.
Before we go any further, Detective, this camera, there's a buzzing noise. Does this camera system that Ms. Accurena have audio?
Yes, it does.
Detective, did you hear any audible noises upon your review of this video?
Yes, what you hear is one gunshot, there's a pause, and then there's 3 consecutive gunshots.
Beginning at 5 a.m., 21 minutes and 17 seconds.
Correct.
Now I got to fast forward to 24 minutes, Mr. Allen?
23:50.
Thank you, sir. 23:30. Start there. Recognize the vehicle at 5:24 a.m.?
Yes, that's Candace Ruffin's Chevy Impala.
question, what do we see at 5:29 a.m. on the video?
What you see is the first responder from Ocoee Police Department responding to Amy Scott's house where the Campos had retreated.
And is that time consistent with the appearance of the patrol car in the red light camera?
Yes.
So that we have, well, before we do that, may I approach the witness with the previously marked as state exhibits AF, AJ, and AI shown counsel.
You may.
I'm going to start with AF because I missed it last time. What's that?
This is Takithia Ruffin's Chevy Impala, or Chevy Malibu, I'm sorry.
Headed eastbound at the red light camera.
Correct.
Okay. And then finally, face exhibits AJ and AI. You recognize those?
Yes.
And what are they?
These are photographs of Candace Ruffin's Chevy Impala going to and leaving the crime scene.
Still photos matching up from the video to the actual vehicle itself.
Correct.
Fair and accurate depiction of that vehicle.
Yes.
This time, Your Honor, the state seeks to admit face exhibits AF, AJ, and AI as the next number exhibits.
Any objection? Legal basis. We have a witness that has identified it, so a predicate has been laid. The weight is up to the jury. Okay. It'll be admitted AF, AJ, and AI. Thank you.
You have permission to publish the exhibits to the jury?
You may.
Detective Mareshi, did you develop, based upon the videos, a timeline of the travel of these vehicles, in particular the Malibu, the Taurus, and the Impala on the night or early morning hours of September 10th?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that timeline was based upon, or starting with the Marathon gas station?
Absolutely. So at 4:45 in the morning, we have the Malibu and the Taurus pulling into the Marathon, which is about 3.5 miles away from the crime scene. We next pick up all 3 suspect vehicles going through the red light camera at Clark and White at between 5:01 and 5:03 a.m. Then the Impala passes in front of Ms. Accarena's video at 5:07 going to the crime scene, 5:24 going away from the crime scene, which is the time that Ocoee Police Department received the 911 call. And then, of course, we see their officer arriving a short time after that.
No further questions for the witness at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Detective, could you identify anybody inside those vehicles?
No.
Nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, you may step down. Thank you so much. Thank you. Careful on the stairs. We have about 20 minutes remaining for this evening. Do you have any other witnesses you would like to try and call this evening?
We do have some brief witnesses, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Call your next witness.
Call Linda Blackman.
Linda Blackman. Thank you. Please have a seat, ma'am. Thank you for joining us this late on a Friday afternoon. We appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to lean into that microphone a little bit. The chair is bolted. It doesn't move, so you might want to move that microphone down a little bit. Last person's a little taller. There you go. I want to be about 2 inches away from that microphone. Would you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first name and last name?
Yes, Linda Blackman, LindaBleckmon.
Thank
And
you. Please proceed.
And Ms. Blackman, where are you employed?
The state of Florida,
And what do you do there?
correctional probation officer.
You're a probation officer?
Yes,
Okay. And did you know a person by the name of Don?
yes,
Did you supervise him on probation?
yes, I still do.
Did you supervise him on probation back in September 10th of 2012?
Yes,
Did you learn his phone number as part of your duties as a probation officer?
yes,
Did you ever call him on that cell phone number?
yes,
And do you recall what that cell phone number is?
yes,
You remember it, or you have to look at something to remind yourself?
yes,
Okay. What was his phone number? And if you need to look, do you have probation records with you?
yes.
Okay. If it would help you, just tell us what his phone number was.
321-527-1821.
And you had called him on that cell phone number back in 2012.
Yes,
All right. And did you know his address?
yes,
Is that written down there also?
yes.
Where did he live? What was his
Five-
address?
5903 Balboa Drive, Orlando, 32808.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any cross-examination? Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
All
We'll
right.
let you go. Please be very careful stepping down.
All right,
okay?
thank you.
Steep steps. Hold on to the side. Call your next witness, please.
State calls Jenny Welch,
Jenny Welch.
W-E-L-C-H.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to ask you to be close to that microphone, if you would, please. That's good. Okay? Would you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first name and your last name, please?
Yes. My name is Jennifer Welch, Jenniferwelch.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Welch, where are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in the Forensics Unit.
What is your title at the, or in the forensic unit?
I'm a crime scene investigator.
We've heard from at least one person about that already, so could you just briefly describe what you do?
Yes. I respond to crime scenes of various types, where I will document the scene through photographs and notes, which then get turned into a report, process the crime scenes, and collect evidence, and then either process the evidence or submit it to laboratories depending on what's needed.
Now, were you employed with the Sheriff's Office and on duty back on Wednesday, May 9th of 2012?
Yes.
And did you respond initially to 503 Bernardino Drive that day?
Yes, I did.
Now, that residence is within the city of Ocoee, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Why did an Orange County Sheriff's Office crime scene technician respond to someplace in the city of Ocoee?
Ocoee didn't have a crime scene investigation unit, any CSIs working for them, so they requested our assistance to work the crime scene.
Were you briefed as to what occurred at the Bernardino address?
Yes.
And given an overview, can you give us an overview of the activities that you undertook, just an overview, at the Bernardino Drive address?
Yes. I photographed the scene, exterior and interior. I processed the scene for latents with the assistance of 2 additional CSIs that came out to assist with processing for latents. I processed for shoe tracks. I also collected evidence at the scene, and I took photographs of the 4 victims and collected DNA standards from the victims.
And this was a scene of an alleged home invasion robbery, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Where did you go after you went initially to the Bernardino Drive address?
After that, I responded to a second location. That location was for a search warrant at 4117 Maple Grove Drive in Orlando.
What did you observe when you got to the Maple Grove Drive address?
I observed the 1-story residence and a vehicle that was parked along the east side of the street west of the residence.
Do you recall the make and model of the vehicle that was parked?
Yes, it was a blue 2-door 2003 Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Did you record the VIN number of that vehicle in your report?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us the VIN number of the vehicle?
Yes. As recorded in my report, the VIN number was 2G as in golf, 1W12E13937035.
And that vehicle, did you photograph it?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach with State's Exhibit AQ?
You may.
Well, I'm showing you State's AQ as a composite of a number of photographs that you can count. Let me know when you're finished reviewing the photos.
Okay.
Do you recognize the photographs?
Yes, I do.
Or at least the images depicted in them?
Yes.
And what do they depict?
They depict the vehicle that was located at 4117 Maple Grove Drive on the day that I responded.
Are they clear and accurate depictions of that vehicle on May 9th of 2012?
Yes.
All right, at this time, the state seeks to amend State's AQ as the next number of exhibit.
Any objection? Relevancy objection.
I can explain if we'd like to approach, or I
Okay,
can do it in
please.
open court. Yes, Your Honor.
I see them for a minute. They're not, you're right. That will come in as the next numbered exhibit. How many photographs is that, do you know? 5? Okay, composite of 5. You may. And that's being admitted subject to being tied up.
Yes, Your Honor. Now that just is a photograph that you take to document what you did and so you can remember, right?
Yes, it's so that I can recall the date and place for those photographs.
That's your signature or your handwriting?
Yes.
Okay, that's number 1 of States 46. Publishing 2 of 46. Three of 46. And 4 of 46. Now, was there eventually a search warrant signed for this vehicle, Ms. Welch?
Yes.
Did you conduct a search of that vehicle?
Yes.
Did you find anything in the initial search on the scene?
I didn't actually search the vehicle on scene. I just collected evidence that I was requested to collect. I did a search of the vehicle on a later date.
Okay. At some point on the later date, did you find any items in the money car load that were associated with a particular person's paperwork?
Yes.
Can you tell us what it was you found?
Yes, I found miscellaneous papers in the center console that contained the name Bessman Okafor, and I located in the glove box a wallet that contained a Florida driver's license with the name, Bessman Okafor.
And this all relates to the incident from May 9th, 2012.
That's correct.
No further questions for the witness, Judge.
Thank you. Cross-examination. Ma'am, you may step down. Thank you so much. Be careful climbing down.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we do have one brief witness who would prefer not to come back. for
Very,
some
very
other
brief witness.
She is, Judge, about as long as Ms. Welch.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Cassie Baumgartner.
Cassie Baumgartner. I don't see Brenda out there.
Probably say Cassandra Baumgartner.
Thank you for joining us. You want to get close to that microphone, probably about 2 inches from the chair. Doesn't move; it's bolted to the floor.
Gotcha.
People have tried to pull it out, but it doesn't pull. If you'd introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first and your last name for the court reporter, please.
My name is Cassandra Baumgartner, Cassandra Baumgartner.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baumgartner, where are you currently employed?
With the Orlando Police Department.
And what is your title with the Orlando Police Department?
I am a crime scene investigator.
Don't take offense, but we already know what that person does. So I'm going to ask you if you were employed and on duty on October 11th of 2012.
Yes.
On that date and time, did you respond to help execute a search warrant at 8016 Equitation Court?
Yes.
What documentation did you do inside the residence that night?
I took overall photographs of the interior of the residence as well as the vehicle that was parked outside.
As part of the search and collection, did you package and later process 2 firearm magazines?
Yes.
Did you locate any...
Please approach. Please proceed.
Were there any vehicles of interest located at 8016 Equitation Court?
Yes.
Can you describe the vehicle of interest that was found at the residence?
There was a blue Monte Carlo parked in the front of the residence.
Did you document the VIN number of the Monte Carlo?
Yes.
Can you tell us the VIN number, please?
But we need to refer to my report.
Counsel, do you object to her referring to her report? Mr. Mosley? Do you object to Ms. Baumgartner referring to her report?
For the VIN number, for the VIN number.
of the vehicle. Go ahead, ma'am.
The VIN number is 2G1WW12E1393703335.
Did you photograph the vehicle?
Yes.
Did you find any documentation with the specific name of a person within that vehicle?
I did not locate that document.
Did you photograph it?
Yes.
Or may I approach the witness of what's been previously marked?
You may. Wait a minute, let's do it at the side bar for a minute. You may approach.
Any what's been marked as State's Exhibit photographs. Could you look at each and tell me when you've had a chance to look at them?
Yes.
And do you recognize the images depicted in those photos?
Yes.
Are those photographs you took?
Yes.
And are those photographs fair and accurate depictions of the Monte Carlo on the date that you photographed?
Yes.
Note at this time the state seeks to omit State's Exhibit AT as the next commemorative exhibit.
Any objection? It'll be admitted as the next composite exhibit. How many photographs is it? Do you remember? 5? Okay.
Your Honor, permission to publish States 47 to the jury.
Yes, sir. I suspect I'm speaking for the jury if I asked you to publish them quickly.
Publishing 1 of 47. Two of 47. Skip ahead. And 5 of 47. And just to be clear, Ms. Baumgartner, this vehicle and these photographs were taken on October 11th of 2012 at Equitation Court.
Yes.
No further questions for the witness.
Any cross-examination? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Please be careful going down that step.
Thank you.
Any additional matters for today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mosley, anything else for today? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I've been taught that after 5 o'clock on Friday, we've intruded into your Saturday, so I do apologize for that. Thank you all. Weekends get to be difficult when you're on a case of this nature because tomorrow you're not in here, Sunday you're not in here, and you're still thinking about the case. It's okay to think about the case, but it's extremely important and critical that you not talk about this case with anybody, that you not do any research. Sometimes if you save newspapers from the weekend to weekdays to read on the weekend, again, if there's anything about it in the paper, please do not read it. If there's anything on the TV, please turn away from it or record it for later on. We're going to continue on Monday morning. We're going to ask you to be here at 8:30. Were any of you here Monday? Did you come in Monday? Monday gets really wild at the courthouse, people coming in. So get here just a little bit early. They've told you where to park. Wear your juror's badges, and when you go in, you know where to meet the deputies at this point. But and again, you may see the attorneys. Remember, they're not going to say anything to you. We thank you all very much for the time and energy you've expended. It's been a long week for you. We understand that, and there's a lot going on. But keep an open mind. There's more testimony for next week. Mr. Williams, Mr. Altman, any additional instructions you would like the jury with the weekend coming up? Mr. Mosley? Folks, have a wonderful weekend. Leave your pads on your chairs. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you all. All right, folks, we're in recess. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks a lot.